Joining us now in Studio B, returning to the program. Always nice to have him with us, BYU men's basketball assistant coach in his first season with the Cougars, Nick Robinson. Nick, welcome back to Studio B.
It's great to be back.
What's up, Nick?
This has been an interesting week for BYU basketball with the official announcement of Nick Emery deciding to step away from basketball. We spoke with Nick yesterday. He said in his word he feels like a huge weight's been lifted from his shoulders. He's got a family. He got remarried. Everything has changed for him. So I know you're well aware of his situation. But now you have to turn around and be like, okay, well, what are we going to do with the roster? So what happens to the roster now that Nick Emery is not a part of the program?
Yeah, well, Nick Emery obviously came to a big decision. And, I've been fortunate to get to know Nick, the 2019 version of Nick Emery, the past 3 months. And he is one of the most creative individuals as we've seen off the on the basketball court, but also off the court, right? And the big change in life for him, what a big step for him. So we're excited for, what's ahead for him in the future. And obviously, grateful for his wonderful contributions to BYU basketball. But moving forward, obviously, recruiting is a continual process. And so, for us, we'll continue to look and find, the right fit that will be able to help fill out the roster, whether it's for this season or for next season.
So is there a possibility that you bring in a guy and you have him sit out because he's got a redshirt due to transfer rules, or do you give the scholarship to somebody else? Like, how do you manage that? Because it's kind of hard at this point to get someone who's really going to help you, right? Is it a little late in the game for that?
Yeah, so at this stage, with the way the transfers work, there's still individuals that are out there that have played at great programs, and so we'll consider some of those that we may have worked with, over the past couple of months, but cut off communication. But obviously, we want to find the best, player that's going to be able to help us, whether it's this year or next year. So one of those options would be, to bring in somebody that might be able to sit out, improve their game, for the next year, like Wyatt or Rich, and then, they'd be ready to play next season.
And it almost feels like there's so many good options and seniors on this team that perhaps it almost simplifies the process in a way. I don't know how you feel about it. You want as many good players as possible, but a guy like a Connor Harding who would have competed with Nick, perhaps for a starting spot, perhaps this enables him in a new way, or other guys like that, and Zach Sellius and whatnot.
Yeah, well, with Nick's retirement, it obviously provides opportunity for guys that are currently on the roster, which may have been different, like you said. But each guy this summer, has been improving, in the weight room, on the court, which has been fantastic. So it's going to be really interesting as we get into practice, in the next week or week and a half, to see kind of who steps up in some of those roles that, may have been filled otherwise.
Yeah, another guy we were talking about is maybe it's Jesse Wade. What does his role become now that Nick is gone? And how has his game developed? Because we don't know a ton about him as a BYU basketball player. We saw him sparing minutes at Gonzaga. He's a Utah kid. He's back in Provo. So how does Jesse Wade potentially fill this gap and help this team?
Yeah, Jesse, as well as, continue to improve like each of our guys, Obviously, we know that he shoots the ball extremely well, but he's had limited game experience, at the Division I level, at extremely high level. So, I think all of our guys are on edge, and rightfully so, in an excited, anticipatory way, because, with Coach Pope, a new system, offensively, defensively, as well as the opportunity they kind of see ahead for themselves individually, but also for us as a team. I think it's exciting for everybody. So, but much of those roles are still kind of to be determined, just because we haven't had, a full, practice, in successive days where we're able to kind of, mix and match guys and see how they compete in those different roles.
So you haven't put in the offense and defense per se with the players fully as a team? Is that what you're saying?
That's correct.
Okay, so in a week or week and a half, as you guys get extra practice time to get ready for Italy, the middle of August, that's when you put it in?
Correct,
okay.
Yeah. Right now it's been small group, maybe pieces of the puzzle, So we kind of get a feel of, guys and where they might fit, in certain places. But until you get to 5-on-5 and get kind of the whole picture offensively and defensively, it's really, a challenge to be able to tell where guys are going to fit.
Can you describe to us kind of the theory or what types of offense and defense perhaps we might see this year?
Yeah, I mean, defensively, right, we want to have a base of man-to-man, right? We want to be able to guard, right, our position, our guys, and be in a position to be able to help each other, right, to where we're a great defensive team, or at least better than maybe we are expected to be. And then offensively, right, like Coach Pope, right, has coached in the past and like the guys, right, have been playing, right, in previous seasons, we want to be a high octane, right, a high pace, be able to move the basketball, right, have multiple guys involved throughout the game. And so, you know, the little nuances, right, that Coach Pope brings, right, added to what the guys are familiar with, right, all the experience that they have, right, in playing this game at a high level, we're really excited about what possibilities are there.
BYU men's basketball assistant coach Nick Robinson with us on BYU Sports Nation. You announced the hiring of Nathan BUBES today. He's the coordinator of strategy, if you will. He does so many different things and analytics.
Very technical.
Like, reading his list of responsibilities is kind of a whirlwind. This guy does a lot. But Mark Pope told us last week when we were filming a commercial, he's already affected and impacted our program and team in a major way. He's a game changer. Why is that?
Yeah, Coach BUBES, I mean, he comes with great experience, right, from Boston College to the Los Angeles Lakers, right, and the variety of the experiences that he's had from a strategy standpoint, right, as well as from an analytical standpoint is absolutely incredible, right? We've been able to learn from him on a consistent basis, right, from a very detailed, right, manner, both from the NBA and the way the game's played there, right, and the trends, but then also on the technology side of things, right? He brings, right, all of the NBA technology, right, and how that fits into a program to what we want to be able to accomplish at the highest level. And so he's been fantastic for, you know, each of us as coaches, but then also for our guys and our players to be able to understand, hey, you compared to this guy, right, in the NBA, and it's not like, you know, he has to, right, go and do the research for 3 hours. It's at the top of his brain, like right now, which is really, really neat.
Wow.
So give us an example of, more things, like average things he's doing, because he's the video coordinator, but he's much more than that, right?
Yeah.
And it's 2019, the game has changed.
Yeah, so I mean, in terms of, right, being the director of strategy, right, and analytics, right, he's worked with, right, some of the top players, right, in the NBA, right, last year for the Lakers.
Well, there
right?
was one. But
you know, but then also had to evaluate them from a film perspective. So when it comes to player development, right, he's able to see our guys on the court in film, right, and then, right, pick 3 or 4 guys that this individual is like, right? So now we're able to go through, analyze that film, right, and splice it up in a way, right, to where we're able to see, hey, you know, right, you know, you can be like this, but you've got to do this, right? And so that's been really neat.
that's awesome.
Let's finish with this. What kind of advantage did you inherit as a first-year staff being able to go to Italy and have a summer trip with this specific team before the season begins?
Well, the summer trips are absolutely incredible from the standpoint that, one, you get to bond, right, through the experience of going over to Italy, right, to experience all those sites, right, the incredible history. But also these 10 practices that we're afforded, right, you're also able to bond in a sense, right, of creating trust, right, through winning plays, through competition. And so that experience, right, in itself puts you 10 practices ahead, right, of the competition. And so with a new staff, for us to be able to inherit this opportunity is absolutely incredible for all of us.
That's exciting. If you need 2 other people to go with you and document it,
All right.
we know 2 guys. We're here, man. Yeah,
We're here
in Italy.
for you,
I'd be
mostly.
happy to miss fall camp. Yeah. Thanks a lot, Nick.
Thank you.
Appreciate it, man. Coming up, did Team Fredette advance in the basketball tournament?
And why a 16-inning game in the majors holds both a former Cougar in it and my rise and shout-out.
And what former BYU football player had Joker face paint and had an interception yesterday?
Good
What?
stuff on the way. It's BYU Sports Nation.